Adelaide may look peaceful, but beneath its charm lies a chilling truth. From haunted prisons to cursed hotels, these are the top 10 most terrifying places in Adelaide where the dead still whisper, watch, and walk among us. 1. Old Adelaide Gale. They say the walls of Old Adelaide Gale don't just echo with history, they scream with it. Hidden behind thick stone walls in the heart of Adelaide, this prison once housed South Australia's most dangerous criminals. Over 45 souls were executed here, some by hanging, their final breaths stolen in the cold silence of the gallows. But death was never the end. Guards still whisper about Cell 18, where lights flicker violently and the air drops to ice in seconds. Tourists report hearing heavy boots pacing, yet no one is there. One woman swears she saw a man in an old prison uniform standing just inches from her, face pale, eyes hollow, before he vanished into thin air. And then there's the hanged man, said to roam the corridors at night, his rope burn still visible on his neck. People feel watched, followed, even touched. This isn't just an old building. It's a prison trapped in time, where the dead refuse to leave. Do you believe it's just a story, or are you brave enough to find out yourself? 2. Zoo Ward, Glenside. Once sealed tight behind iron gates and sandstone walls, Z Ward in Glenside was never meant for the public. It was built to contain the criminally insane, the most disturbed, violent minds in South Australia's history. And now, it contains something else. Visitors say the air inside feels wrong, heavy, like it's pressing against your chest. In room 7, a former inmate who took his own life is said to whisper your name if you stay too long. Paranormal teams have captured unexplained growls, footsteps in empty halls, and even photos of faces in the windows, when no one else was inside. One guard once heard his keys jingle from his belt, only to look down and find them floating mid-air. And every night, as the sun sets, shadows stretch unnaturally down the hallways. Some swear they've seen a tall, dark figure staring from the end of the corridor, unmoving, until it disappears when you blink. Z Ward was shut down decades ago, but its inmates? They may still be waiting. 3. Adelaide Arcade. By day, the Adelaide Arcade glows with charm, a vintage shopping haven built in 1885. But when the last shop closes and the lights go out, something far older wakes up beneath the marble floors. They say it's Francis Clooney, the arcade's caretaker, who died in a horrific accident, electrocuted deep in the basement. Ever since, strange things have happened. Lights flicker violently, footsteps echo when no one's around, and shopkeepers arrive to find displays mysteriously rearranged overnight. One security guard quit after hearing someone calling his name from behind a locked shop front. When he checked the footage, the camera showed no one, just the lights dimming, one by one. In the mirror-lined hallway near the old stairwell, people report glimpses of a man in an old-fashioned coat, staring, expressionless, before vanishing like smoke. This isn't just a shopping arcade. It's a place where the past walks beside you, silently, unseen, until it wants to be noticed. 4. The Barton Theatre. Behind the velvet curtains and faded glamour of the Barton Theatre lies a darkness the audience never sees. Built in the 1920s, this grand old venue has hosted legends, but some say not all the performers ever left. Stagehands whisper of hearing applause in an empty hall. Singers warming up alone have heard someone humming with them, matching every note, from the shadows. One actress fled mid-rehearsal after seeing a woman in white gliding across the balcony, only to vanish when she screamed. The old dressing rooms, ice cold, mirrors fog up, even on warm days, and sometimes they show faces that aren't yours. In the backstage corridor, a man's laughter echoes at odd hours, low, mocking, and chilling. No one has ever found its source. The Barton Theatre is more than a stage. It's a haunted memory, trapped in endless encore. And if you listen closely, the spirits might still be performing tonight. Five, North Kapunda Hotel. Kapunda. Just an hour north of Adelaide, in the old mining town of Kapunda, stands the North Kapunda Hotel, a place so haunted, it's been called Australia's most terrifying pub. This isn't a ghost story whispered in corners. It's a warning etched in history. Murder, illness, and violence once filled these halls. And the dead? They never checked out. Guests report being shoved by invisible hands. Doors slam on their own. One woman fainted after feeling someone breathing down her neck, but she was alone in her room. Down in the cellar, once used as a makeshift morgue, investigators captured EVP recordings of screams. One even caught a child's voice crying, "Help me," though no children were on the property. But the most feared spirit is a man in a black coat and wide-brimmed hat. He appears at the end of the hallway, tall, still, watching, and then he's gone. At the North Kapunda Hotel, history doesn't sleep. It waits. 6. Carrick Hill, Springfield. Carrick Hill looks like a fairy tale estate. Grand gardens, stone walls, and English charm. But behind its beauty lies a silence too deep, and shadows that move when no one's near. Built in the 1930s, it was once the lavish home of Sir Edward and Lady Ursula Hayward. Now, caretakers and guests speak of strange happenings. Footsteps on empty staircases, the scent of old perfume in rooms locked for years, and soft piano music drifting from the drawing room, even though the piano hasn't worked in decades. One staff member claims she heard a woman weeping in the nursery, yet found it completely empty. Another saw a pale figure standing at an upstairs window when the house was closed. And then there's the library, where books fall from shelves without reason, and some say they've felt a cold hand brush against theirs while reading. Carrick Hill is a house frozen in time, and perhaps not everyone inside is gone. 7. Glen Osmond Mines. Glen Osmond. Beneath the peaceful Adelaide foothills lie the forgotten tunnels of the Glen Osmond Mines, once rich with silver and lead, now rich with fear. In the 1800s, these mines were alive with pickaxes and shouts, but they were also plagued by cave-ins and gas leaks. Many miners were buried alive in total darkness, their bodies never recovered. Locals say their spirits still wander below. Even today, strange noises echo from the sealed shafts, metal clanging, voices calling out, but no one's there. Some hikers near the entrance report the ground shaking slightly beneath them, as if something moves deep underground. One paranormal team entered an abandoned shaft, only to hear breathing behind them. When they turned, there was no one. Just the stale, cold air and a whisper, "Don't go further." The mines are off limits now, but some say if you stand nearby at night, you can still hear the trapped souls digging, desperate to be found. 8. Stirling Hotel, Stirling. Nestled in the misty Adelaide Hills, the Stirling Hotel welcomes guests with warmth and charm, but some say not all its guests are living. This elegant old building has seen over a century of laughter, loss, and lingering spirits. Staff have reported wine glasses shattering on untouched tables, lights switching on in locked rooms, and footsteps echoing through empty hallways late into the night. But it's the woman in Victorian black that chills even the bravest. She's often spotted near the grand staircase, motionless, hands clasped, eyes hollow. One guest tried to speak to her, thinking she was part of a themed event, but the woman simply vanished before their eyes. In the upstairs rooms, guests wake to the feeling of being watched. Some swear they've heard soft humming in the darkness, like a lullaby from another time. At the Stirling Hotel, the line between the past and present is paper thin, and sometimes it breathes right beside you. 9. National Railway Museum, Port Adelaide. By day, the National Railway Museum is a nostalgic wonderland of steel and steam. But when the crowds go home and the lights dim, the silence is broken by something unnatural. This site holds more than just history. It holds residual energy from decades of death, disaster, and despair. Old prison transport cars once carried the condemned, and visitors say they can still feel the fear trapped in the wood and metal. Night staff have heard footsteps echo across the metal platforms, followed by the sharp slam of a carriage door, even when no one's inside. Some swear they've seen a figure in uniform step onto a train, then vanish between the carriages. In the exhibit hall, motion sensors are triggered by nothing. Voices are recorded whispering names, and cold gusts move through sealed compartments like something unseen is brushing past. The National Railway Museum is more than a tribute to travel. It's a station between two worlds, where not every passenger made it home. 10. Holdfast Hotel, Glenelg. Just a stone's throw from the beach, the Holdfast Hotel in Glenelg hides a tragic tale behind its historic facade, a tale that refuses to stay buried. Locals whisper of the Lady in White, a sorrowful spirit believed to be a young mother who lost her child in the 1800s. She's been seen drifting through hallways, her long dress trailing behind her, her face pale with endless grief. Guests often wake in the middle of the night to hear soft crying outside their doors. But when they open them, the corridor is empty. One couple reported their bathroom tap turning on by itself, moments after a sudden cold gust swept through their room. Staff have spotted lights flickering violently in rooms with no power issues. Others refuse to go into the basement alone, not after hearing someone whisper, "Where is he?" from the dark. At the Holdfast Hotel, time stands still for a grieving soul. And if you listen closely, you might hear her searching still. So, would you dare visit any of these haunted places alone? Or have you already walked through one without even knowing? Let us know if you're brave enough.